guys, FlamingVictini here, and I'm going to be narrating another SPL game. This time we've got XRay versus Ben Gay. He's using his Krang name. Okay, I didn't realize that, but XRay has a nice team. I have used similar stuff in the past. Jirachi Manaphy looks kind of nice, but I personally don't like it so much. I feel like XRay has used this. I feel like XRay has used this team before in SPL. I feel like I remember seeing it, but I personally don't like Manaphy Jirachi. I think my version has Keldeo and Volcarona. I mean, I can understand Keldeo over Manaphy in this team too, because it provides a Bisharp check, which X-Ray is kind of lacking, but I mean, he does have Diancie and his own Bisharp, and Manaphy can potentially melt tanks and hits, so I guess it's okay. Bengay has got a bulky offense team. Metagross is his main mega, and he's got Torn and Laddie as well. Then he's got Tran and Tangrowth. Tangrowth, I guess, helps him out. I don't know, it's interesting. He is pretty prepared against Bisharp. He has Tangrowth and he has Gliscor. He doesn't have Lando T, and he's using Tangrowth, which is often used over another grass type because it also helps you versus Bisharp, so I guess that's pretty interesting. So Bengay does lead off with his Metagross, as X-Ray leads off with his Bisharp. So I guess X-Ray has the benefit of being able to get to knock off the Tangrowth right here. But what could happen is that Bengay could go for the Hammer Arm and just kill this Bisharp straight up. Is this Bisharp the Rocker? I could very easily see the Lando T being like a double dance or a scarf set, and Jirachi being like some scarf set or like subtoxic or something like that, and Bisharp being the rocker, although it doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm kind of curious why X-Ray led off with this Bisharp. I guess he wants to just try to put in as much work with knockoff as he can before that Gliscor activates his Toxic Orb and stuff like that. That makes kind of some sense, I guess. And oh wow, X-Ray's timer is already low, but Bengay, he could Hammer Arm, but he doesn't want to take a Sucker Punch or a potential knockoff to the face, and if this Bisharp is Sash, that'll be really bad for him. But I mean, Metagross can tank the hit. Metagross is really good because it just threatens the Latios. It has, before it Mega Evolves, it has Clear Body for the Lando T. It threatens out the Diancie quite a bit, and it can do a decent amount of damage to basically everything on X-Ray's team, so it's a pretty decent threat. Diancie is definitely a big threat to Bengay's team, definitely. It beats the Torn, it can check the Laddie, depending on the Tangrowth set, it can probably beat it. It might actually be a Assault Vest Tangrowth. It might, but depending on it, depending on the Heatran set and the Diancie set, it might be able to do work. If it's HP Fire, it won't be able to beat Metagross, but yeah, really the Metagross on Bengay's end seems like the biggest threat to me. To X-Ray's team, and there we see that Bengay does indeed stay in and go for the Hammer Arm as X-Ray switches out his Bisharp into Jirachi. I guess he didn't want to go straight Lando T. I don't know why he wouldn't. I guess he didn't want to go straight Lando T because the Clear Body would block the Intimidate. Maybe he's gonna try to U-turn out to the Lando T right here, and I guess Bengay could potentially predict that if he has Ice Punch. I mean, the Jirachi doesn't really touch the Metagross much. It basically just took that Hammer Arm and is going to be turning out to some other mon, but I think it's pretty obvious that that's going to be X-Ray's play of choice. Bengay does have the -1 speed though, so he's definitely going to have to keep that in mind, because X-Ray will be able to use that to his advantage, but yeah, I mean, in this current situation, Bengay basically just cut off a free 46%, and he's not going to really lose too much by the Jirachi turning out on this Metagross. I don't really think X-Ray will have anything else to touch this Metagross really, and he's not going to go for Iron Punches at this point in the game, turn 2, when the Metagross is at full health. Doesn't make any sense, so he's definitely just going to U-turn out, X-Ray is, and yeah, there we see the U-turn, and I guess he's going to Lando, and what does Bengay do? Does he Ice Punch? Yes, he does, and wow, that's a solid 73% to that Lando. It is Rocky Helmet, so Metagross takes a hefty chunk, like around 17% from that helmet, but Lando T just took a massive amount of damage. Good god. Bengay won't be able to stay in with his Metagross because X-Ray could potentially outrun and EQ it, considering that he did get that speed drop. So Bengay probably, he could switch out to Gliscor, he could switch to Tangrowth. I don't know, I guess Torn is possible. I doubt he'd edge. But Torn also lets X-Ray bring in Diancie, which isn't exactly favorable for Bengay. And especially that Tangrowth is Helmet, like I think it is. And he could also go land Latios, but I don't really see a good reason to. And X-Ray might even U-turn if he really wants to. But X-Ray is probably just going to get up his rocks, to be completely honest. I definitely think Bengay is just going to go to his Tangrowth, and if he has maybe a good way to hit the Lando T, then maybe he can go to his Gliscor, or maybe he wants to activate his Toxic Orb, so that's why he'll go Gliscor. I could see that happening, and he does choose to go to his Tangrowth, as X-Ray does indeed get up his Stealth Rocks. So, basically, alright guys, sorry about that, got interrupted, but now that the Tangrowth is in, and these Stealth Rocks are up from the Lando T, we did see that the Lando was Rocky Helmet, so and this might be U-turn, this might have knockoff, it might have Toxic, but I don't expect it to have anything like Explosion or something like that. This Lando T can, I don't know if he'd want to U-turn out. I mean, he may not want to U-turn out because he'd want to not get Sleep Powder. Oh, he doesn't even have U-turn. Or it could be that, yeah, I was thinking he might want to sack his Lando T to not get Sleep Powdered, but maybe he didn't U-turn because he didn't want to take Rocky Helmet damage, but honestly, if I were X-Ray, I'd be willing to take that Helmet damage to get damage on the Tangrowth. I don't know, maybe it doesn't have U-turn. That's always a possibility. So he does sack his, oh, okay, so he goes into his Bisharp and loses his Life Orb right there to the Tangrowth. His Latios is asleep, and Latios was kind of a threat to Bengay's team because, oh wow, so there's a knockoff. Yeah, he removes the helmet, and this Tangrowth does have HP Fire. Yeah, I like HP Fire because unless you're a really fast Tran, then it's not very necessary, but Bengay's team is pretty weak to Scizor outside of the Tran, and so I can definitely understand HP Fire Tangrowth. That's definitely a nice smooth choice on Bengay's end, and X-Ray, he's in a tough spot right here. He's removed the Tangrowth's Rocky Helmet, but this is looking really difficult for him. I think X-Ray's way to win has to be his Diancie. I can't see a better way. And oh my god, Bengay makes the play of going for the Giga Drain. It wasn't really a big play, but like, he killed the Lando right there, and X-Ray was definitely predicting the HP Fire, trying to get off a U-turn right there, but it does not work out, and X-Ray decides to go to his Manaphy. This Tangrowth is definitely proving to be a big problem to X-Ray's team, and Bengay has Regenerator, which just makes it even easier for him. And this Manaphy is checked offensively by that Metagross, that Torn, and that Latios, so it's going to have a hard time to put in too much work. There used to be a time where Manaphy, people were like, oh, Manaphy is broken, but yeah, that was like, I don't know, it's definitely not broken, but he goes for the Giga Drain as the Manaphy goes for the Tail Glow, and this is the thing, you go for the Tail Glow, you'll force out the Tangrowth, but Bengay just sacks it on and then revenges, so X-Ray can Ice Beam here. If he wants to predict the Metagross, he can Scald. If Bengay is a Dawn and he goes straight to his Latios on the Scald, he's just too good. If X-Ray has Shadow Ball, I guess he can go for that, or Signal Beam for Hoopa, and Celebi. It hits Hoopa and Celebi, which is kind of cool, but Shadow Ball is pretty good. Oh, Bengay actually goes to his Torn and lets that go instead, so he wants to keep his Latios. I don't know how he goes to his Metagross. I don't know how I feel about sacking Torn rather than sacking Latios. I don't see what Latios is beating. Torn is better versus X-Ray's Latios, which just happens to be asleep. Torn is better versus X-Ray's Jirachi. Torn is better versus X-Ray's Bisharp. Torn is not better versus his Diancie, but, and it can check the Manaphy. Maybe it's not Assault Vest, and I don't know, maybe he just doesn't want to use Torn because it can miss, and he'd rather have Lati, which can get off guaranteed damage with Draco. I don't know. I'm not sure why he'd sack Torn rather than Latios, but I guess that's okay with him. So X-Ray is gonna sack his Bisharp, as there's the Thunder Punch on Metagross. Really good set. I remember my friend Fingers Crossed, gave me a Metagross team way in early ORAS, and I had Thunder Punch Metagross, and at that time everyone was like, what the heck is Thunder Punch Metagross, that's such a bad set, but I used it a lot and it was really good, and recently people have been realizing that Thunder Punch Metagross is really quite a big threat. So, because it just hits those waters, it's really nice. You can hit the Slowbro, you can hit Keldeo without risking Zen Headbutt miss, you can hit Manaphy a bit there without risking Zen Headbutt especially. Some Metagross don't even run Zen Headbutt. What do we see here? We saw Ice. Yeah, Dual Punch Metagross is definitely a great set. Bengay's Metagross doesn't even have Zen Headbutt. It's Ice Punch, T-Punch, Hammer Arm, Meteor Mash. So there we see its Heart Stamp Jirachi. That is a Scarf Jirachi right here. And Bengay decides to go back into his Metagross, and oh my god, 4%. Is X-Ray gonna go for it? If X-Ray goes for the flinching and he gets it, that'll be ridiculous. Oh! Interesting. It's Bullet Punch Metagross, so it doesn't even have Meteor Mash. That happens to work really well in this situation, because the Jirachi can't even try to flinch this Metagross down. Heart Stamp already is not doing that much damage. At least Iron Head would be doing a lot more damage. Like, in comparison to 5%, it would be doing a lot more damage. And BP just works out really well for Bengay. It's kind of odd to have a Metagross where your attacks, you can't even hit a Clefable harder than Bullet Punch, but sorry about that, but it's really odd, but it works out really well here. So Bengay, X-Ray just trying to play around this Metagross, and it's not working. He goes to his Manaphy on the Bullet Punch and then pivots to his Latios on the Thunder Punch. This Metagross is just going to Ice Punch, not going to really help. X-Ray does get his Jirachi in, which means he can U-turn, and we do need to keep in mind that X-Ray can potentially Healing Wish later up in the game, but really this is looking pretty sold in Bengay's favor. Like, I feel like Bengay just has a really massive advantage at this point, not only in the Mons he has, but how healthy his team is compared to X-Ray's, and the fact that his Metagross already pretty much dismantles X-Ray's team. So X-Ray does go to his Manaphy. I think Manaphy is like the only hope X-Ray has. Maybe like Diancie can get lucky or something, but I don't know, this looks very tough. So I think X-Ray might just fire off Simple Ice Beam right here. He doesn't really want to risk taking another Drain after he took already one from that Tail Glow. And yeah, that's the problem with Manaphy on versus a team like Bengay's, where he has like 3 Mons that can threaten it offensively. So, and if Manaphy just doesn't have the power to Oko things immediately, so when you have to waste a turn to Tail Glow and then only to get 1 kill and then get forced out, it kind of hurts. Bengay makes an aggressive play right there, going into his Heatran. He doesn't really need his Heatran that much. I mean, even if it's Spadef, Manaphy is so weak that even a Scald would not do like more than like 60% to the Heatran. Assuming it's Spadef, I don't know the exact calc, but it would never do more than 60%. I could see it doing like 50-40%. Yes, a Scald for Manaphy, but maybe like above 50. But yeah, X-Ray does go for the Tail Glow right there. Do we get to see the Lava Plume burn? Yes, we do see the burn. And this is just going to keep chipping down the Manaphy, and this is important to make sure that Bengay doesn't lose to it somehow, like Draco Meteor Miss, Psyshock somehow screwing up or something. He wants to be able to revenge kill this with Metagross as safely as he can, and we do see Protect Heatran right there. I have not seen Protect Heatran in a while. Get a little more chip on the Manaphy, and this is really just forcing X-Ray that he has to Healing Wish up his Jirachi later on in the game. He has to. So I think X-Ray is just going to sack his Latios right here and go to his Jirachi and then try to Healing Wish. That's really his only option. Because his Manaphy is his only hope. Manaphy does have the benefit, like when it's at full health, it can tank a ton of hits. You can EV it to tank Lati Dracos, you can EV it to take a +1 Altaria return, you can EV Manaphy to take a lot of attacks, you can use Wakan Berry, you can use Citrus Berry if you want to be especially good versus offense, because offense especially often relies on using 2 hard hits to beat Manaphy rather than 1 strong hit to take it out at once. So Citrus Berry is a pretty interesting option here. Leftovers is always consistent and works well. And yeah, there's the Healing Wish right there, but Bengay does go to his Tangrowth, which means this Manaphy cannot boost without taking a Giga Drain, and I doubt Ice Beam would OHKO this Tangrowth. I really doubt it. Even though it is Fizz Def Rocky Helmet, I really doubt that Ice Beam would OHKO this Tangrowth. He's going for the freeze. Does he get it? No, he does not. And I think this game is pretty much done. Now that he's gotten that Giga Drain off, I don't see any saving grace for X-Ray. He's just done. I think he pretty much just loses. So yeah, Bengay can just hit Thunder Punch right here, and this is a pretty clean snack wrap. So he can just, I mean, okay, well, if X-Ray chooses to not Mega Evolve, and then, I mean, Bengay has Gliscor too. So like, let's say I think what Bengay might want to do is force the Diancie to Mega Evolve, so that way he can guarantee that the Bullet Punch from Metagross will kill the Diancie. And yeah, X-Ray does choose to try to stay non-Mega Evolve to tank the Bullet Punch and go for the HP Fire. So this Latios would outspeed this Diancie, even if it goes for the Protect right there. And Bengay wants to defog. I'm not sure why he wants to defog. If I were him, I'd be going for the Psyshock. I don't really understand why he's not. Okay, he goes to Gliscor, gets a defense boost, and what? Oh, I see why. He wants to roost so that he has the Poison Heal, but I don't understand why he's going Gliscor. He already forced the Mega Evolution from the Diancie. This is... oh my god, there's a second defense. Swords Dance. What is going on? Can Bengay lose this? Oh my god. Baton Pass. This is... oh my god. Bengay. Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess this game does not matter because both the teams are out of contention to win to qualify for playoffs. So I guess it doesn't matter for Bengay that much. But oh my god, flex! Bengay's flexing on this X-Ray. Oh my goodness, showing off those forearms. Bengay the monster, flexing. Oh my goodness. So that's actually pretty cool. It's SD Pass Gliscor to that. Now Bullet Punch makes a lot more sense. Now, because if you have SD Pass, you're much more likely to want to use Bullet Punch than 4 attacks, Meteor Mash with no priority. That makes a lot more sense now. And Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Hammer Arm covers a ton of stuff. It really does. But I'm wondering if that Tornadus is physical actually, because generally you'd want more than one receiver to a SD Pass set. Usually on a team, you don't have just one receiver to a Baton Passer. But regardless, Bengay was able to show off those muscles, flex on X-Ray, and grab that win at the end of the game. The Metagross was a beast in this game. And, I mean, yeah, the Metagross just dominated, and X-Ray couldn't really do much. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.